Hi everyone, this is Mrs. J in the library, and this video is going to walk you through how to use the State Award Book Reading and Voting Library Center that I designed here. So this is a preview of what's also included in this product. So this is what the center looks like. It is available as a PowerPoint file or in Google Slides, and this is the Google Slides section. So there's a section that's more generic for any U.S. state or any program that involves a list of books and students voting on it. And then I do have a Pennsylvania specific one since that's the state that I'm from. So I just used an example of our Young Reader's Choice as the name of our contest, and I used the state logo. You can also print on the back of these center signs that you could either post online or print out. I like to print on the back all of the competencies and standards for what students are learning. This is great for administrators if they happen to walk in the room and are wondering what are students learning or why are they learning that thing or why they're doing what they're doing. And lastly, this is a printable section. You can print these two slides out double-sided. All of these are for letter size paper, by the way, 8.5 by 11. And by printing these out, and you can replace these book cover images, these boxes, with pictures of the books that are on your list. Students could track which books they've read and what they think of them out of 5 stars. And you could either use this as the actual voting ballot that students would turn in by circling their choice, or you could have students just use this to track what they're reading and vote using the Google form. So speaking of the Google form, here is what that looks like. So you would get a copy of this. And so the first thing I would recommend doing is checking out the settings. You may want to, instead of collecting students' names on the form, you may want to just collect their email address. So if students are logged into your G Suite, if your district is a Google Suite for Education district, then that's sort of nice, but it's one less question and it makes voting a lot faster. This is a drop-down box, so students would choose from the choices. And then again, I included 1 year of the Pennsylvania Young Reader's Choice. You can change both the titles here and the images. I got all of these images from Library Thing, and I right-clicked over the image and said copy image address, and then pasted it here. And I'm claiming fair use because it's for education. So here's what that would look like. This is the version that you would share with students. So the nice thing about having all of those book covers is that it makes it really easy for students to read and to see which one that they're voting for. Also, I have these set to randomize. I can scroll down here to the settings so that they won't appear in this order, and that sort of, I think, eliminates students just always voting for the top ones at the top, and it keeps it fair for all of the books there. So our list is actually pretty long in Pennsylvania. It's 15 books for each category, so yours might be shorter or longer, and you can adjust those. And there's what the drop-down box might look like. So then just a quick look at the lesson plan. This is in Google Docs, but it's also in the product as a Word document in Microsoft Word. And it just goes through all the standards, what students are learning. It is pretty formal, so it should be fine for, it's pretty detailed for a substitute if they have to step in there, or if you have administrators that are particularly picky about what your lesson plans should look like. So finally, I want to show you how I would post this in Google Classroom specifically. Certainly, if you have other learning platforms, you're definitely able to post this, and I'll show you how to do that. But it is really easy if you happen to use Google Classroom. And so I would put this in the reading and language section in this topic that I've created. So because this is these Google Slides are not something that students have to interact with. They don't have to move anything. They're just looking at these directions and reading them, and then they're interacting in another way with other content, either my ebooks platform or with something that's right in front of them, a physical book. I don't need them to interact with these slides. So when I create my assignment or my piece here, I'm actually going to post it as a material. So that's something that students can view, but they don't need to interact with. So I like using Emojipedia and putting emojis in my Google Classroom because it keeps it colorful. So I might call this State Award Book Voting. And you can write for your description something really simple, just like click to open. Or you could write something more complex, like click on each of the links to explore this year's book list, maybe. Something super simple. You can add emojis here as well if you like. And now I'm going to click on Add, and from my Google Drive, I'm going to find my see where it is. There it is, State Awards, insert. All right, there is my Google Slides. So now students can access this, but they cannot change anything about it. They're only looking at it. It's a students can view type of thing. All right, so that's one way to do this. All right, I'm gonna grab this and I'll show you another way. If you'd like students to be able to mark this as something that they did or something they participated in, you could give it as an assignment. Of course, I would make it ungraded. And this is another way to add a due date. So if you want to put the deadline for voting on your your program, that might be one way to do that. And so you would again use your title there. I'm going to add the same thing. And so State Award. Oh boy. There it is. And here's the important part. Because I don't want students to be able to edit or change my file at all, I want to make sure this is set to students can view file, not edit and not make a copy for students. And so I would add this to the reading and language topic, and then I could click assign. And then if students choose to participate, they could mark it as done or as completed in their Google Classroom, and you would be able to see who marked it as done and who didn't. I would also add a link to the Google form here. So I would copy that and add a link here. Some other links you might find useful is to add a link to your ebooks platform if that's how students will be accessing the books, or a link to your catalog if you have a public list or a collection in your online catalog where students could be able to see what's checked in and what's out and what they're able to access at the moment. So that's how I would post this as an assignment or as a material. One last thing I do want to show you is that if you are sharing this on another platform like SeeSaw or something like that, then you want to go to your share settings and you want to get the link to share. Again, students aren't interacting with this, they're just viewing it. So after I've made all of my edits, I would go here and I would uncheck this box. This is super important because this protects copyright and it protects my work. And so you would uncheck that box so that students cannot view or print or copy or anything. And same with teachers that might be co-teachers on your platform. And then click the copy link. Also make sure that this is set to anyone with the internet can link, not just, anyone within your district only can view is what you want to set that as. And if your district doesn't use Google Platform, then you could potentially make this anyone on the internet with this link. That would be fine as long as you're only sharing it on a closed learning platform. So once you have that set, then you're going to grab the copy link and you could share that out through SeeSaw or through whatever learning platform you would like. And so that's just a quick overview of how this might look. So I did want you to reiterate that you have permission to use and edit this product in any way you see fit, as long as you are sharing it on a closed learning platform and only your students have access to it. So I hope this was helpful. And of course, feel free to contact me through my website if you have any questions.